What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for jumping in to this video today, or broadcast, of course, depending on when you are watching it. My name is Danny ColdBlood, A.K. motherfucking A, MusicVidiot. We are here in the wonderful world of Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, today, guys, I want to go over something pretty crazy, something very mystical, very mysterious, very supernatural, guys. Today, we are going to talk about supernatural clues within Grand Theft Auto 5. Yesterday, I provided you guys with another episode of Shoot for the Stars. Yes, I was late, but I still provided you guys with that episode. And what that is us going through all the stars every week. Every Saturday we go through a star until we get all these stars done. And we go through every name. And we figure out why they're so important as to be featured on Vinewood's Walk of Fame. And yesterday, one of the people we covered was Beatrix Fontaine. And Beatrix Fontaine is a fortune teller. Now, we're going to get more into her in a second. It's kind of like a follow-up. I want to kind of go over some of the stuff that she actually has done live on her radio show, The Seance. But first, I want to kind of go over some clues, guys. How often do you guys go on the internet? Some of these websites that you see are really suspicious, and a lot of them have some really crazy and eerie / relevant stuff. Especially if you hit random right here, you'll get a lot of different websites, and maybe some of them are completely new to you. You might not have seen some of these as you just, go through each, set of randomized selections here. If there's one that's not familiar to you, click on it. You never know what you're gonna get. Okay, and by doing so, you might find something crazy and then realize that it might be a huge clue. The next episode that we actually are going to have on the channel is going to be focused on this website. So a lot of the clues that I've been finding lately and going over lately and have been informed of lately by you guys have been directly from the internet here in GTA 5. Today we're going to talk about this one right here. Psychic Shoutouts. Have all of the most important questions in the world answered by a psychic so powerful they are like a mutant from a comic book. And you can see the little logo is like a bomb with an eye. Pretty crazy, huh? So let's take a look at this website really quick. Psychic Shoutout. What if you could get the answers to the most important questions in life? Will you make lots of money so you can be happy? When will you be famous and therefore content? Is love around the corner? Or are you going to live in a lonely misery for eternity? Have all the most important questions in the world answered by a psychic so powerful they're like a mutant from a comic book. Yet, this power can't be wasted on national security issues, predicting terrorist attacks, or saving school children. No, this power has been harnessed to tell you lottery numbers, or if a coworker wants a quick hump in the stairwell. Now that's the kind of information we need, guys. Get your reading now. Chat with a live psychic. It will change the way you see the world forever. And we can go ahead and allow them to enlighten us by clicking here, which we're going to do, because I want to go ahead and show you guys the crazy shit that this psychic says, and it's different for each character, and you can actually go back and get different readings each time, but they're very, in almost an eerie way type of, they're clues. They're like types of clues, if you ask me. And we'll go ahead and show you guys why, and then there's also some other stuff I want to bring up as well. So this is going to be a pretty crazy episode for you guys today. It says that we do, so this is what they offer: angel readings, What do your own personal angels really want you to know, but had to get a paid stranger to tell you? Astrology. We know GTA 5 and the mystery and a lot of the stuff within has a lot of astrology and astronomy filtered throughout the entire mystery, so that's always interesting to see a word like this pop up. The gravitational pull. Gravitational pull. It's pretty crazy because, you know, that is also part of something that can cause tsunamis. You know, the gravitational pull with the moon and everything like that with the earth, and that causes the waves and the tidal waves and the tsunamis to, you know, happen and shit, which, you know, makes me think of another website here in the game, the Accept the Chaos or whatever it is .com, where you can actually see that dog and the family, and then everything gets wiped out with the tsunami with the newspaper. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, maybe I'll have time at the end to show you guys. But it says the gravitational pull on your tiny brain at birth predetermines everything. You have no freedom, guaranteed. It's funny because they say tiny brain at birth. That makes me think of another website that holds more clues, in my opinion, here on the internet in GTA 5, and that website is like baby names or whatever, like nameyourbaby.com or something like that, and you can actually click on a button to randomize your baby's name, and so many of the names that they name your baby are so relevant and freakishly eerie when looking at this game and the clues that we've found so far. It's fucking insane, guys. I think a lot of the clues are hiding here in the in-game internet. Clairvoyance. This is a French word. We don't know what it means either, but the spirits do. Interpretation of dreams. We've talked a lot about dreams, guys. What that sex and murder spree you dreamed was really about. It was about sex and murder. You see, they're making fun of this shit, but even though it's a joke, if you read between the lines, guys, you'll see the clues are sitting there, standing there, laughing right in your face. Alright, had to light my cigarette. Sorry, guys. Lost wallets. We'll tell you where it's at, or your money back. Not. Numerology. It's like math mixed with magic, which is nearly impossible. The answer's almost always 7. Numerology is kind of funny that they bring up math and all this shit, because, guys, we do know that algorithms and everything tie a big importance within this mystery, and it's like they're giving us all of the ingredients to the mystery right here, but, you know, half cracked in with a joke. So you gotta kind of, like, read between the lines, like I said, and see what they're really saying to us. Past life readings. We can tell you if you were pathetic in your past life, too. You were probably someone important like Cleopatra, or that Russian queen who slept with horses. Pet psychic. What your dog is really thinking when it's humping your leg. It's not pretty, but it's true. It's funny that they actually bring this up, because we know that we can be Chop, and we can be other animals, and actually, I'm not going to get too deep into that, as I have a huge episode planned all about the peyotes. Relationship psychics. We can tell pretty fast if you're in a shitty relationship. We look at you and figure everything out. Rune stone readings. A very dark magic from Camelot. Curse your enemies. Throw your most treasured possessions into lakes. That, my friends, pretty crazy if you ask me. I don't really know what they're getting at with that, but I know that the Epsilon Epsilonists talk about lakes and stuff like that, and, you know, the stones and the crystals and everything not only tied in with the killer in the game that's tied to the mystery in the game, but also other things that are tied to that as well. I don't want to get too much into this stuff, as I'm trying to explain to you guys that a lot of stuff is coming out soon, and I don't want to ruin my own damn videos. And the last one is Tarot. Like poker with more confusing cards. It's the 70s all over again. So, some people have left some testimonials. The psychic called and picked up on things nobody knows about, like what happened to me in the shower in college. Anyway, I can't wait for the new love of my life to appear. And I was so relieved that my psychic told me that I'll be getting back together with my boyfriend, even though I smashed all the windows out of his house. My psychic said I'll be hearing from him any day now. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and look and see exactly what our reading will be. You guys can go ahead and try this out yourselves. So, Mrs. Tammy says, "Hello, Michael. I'm Mrs. Tammy. Click here to send your thoughts." Okay, so let's go ahead and send a thought. Really quick, I want to give a shout out to the people that are jumping in the chat. We got Zach Marble, Active Sniper. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for jumping in. Much appreciated. Very much appreciated. All right. Michael says, "How did you know my name?" Because she says, "Hello, Michael. I'm Mrs. Tammy." Michael says, "How did you know my name?" "Oh, well, I'm psychic, remember?" Let's send another thought. Oh yeah. What can I help you with today? I'm a fantastic relationship psychic." "My relationship is just fine," he says. Then she says, "I see a big house and a garden. The spirits are telling me to go into the bedroom." This is pretty crazy, because Michael does have a big house. He also has a garden and a gardener. And in the bedroom, you know, what's going to happen? Is she going to find a tennis player? "The spirits normally tell me to pass out on the sofa. The bedroom is very crowded," she says.
Oh, now you call me.
"The decorator told me it was maximal minimalism. I see a yoga mat and a tennis racket." So this lady, this psychic, is actually seeing things relevant to Michael. A lot of these things, which you'll know later in the episode as I get to it, the psychic that we talked about in our Shoot for the Stars episode, Beatrix Fontaine, you'll see in a minute when I read to you some of the stuff that happened in GTA5. A lot of it was bullshit, okay? This doesn't seem to be as bad as the previous game psychic. This one is so far pretty on. So far, she knows his name. She knows that he has a yoga mat and a tennis racket. She knows he has a house, big house, and a garden. This is some pretty crazy shit so far. "We're a sporty family," Michael says. "They don't belong to you." So the yoga mat and tennis racket doesn't belong to Michael. That is something to think about, guys. We do know that Michael is the only one in the game that can play yoga, or do yoga, I'm sorry, perform yoga in 2 locations only, one of them being at his house. And now Mrs. Tammy, the psychic, is saying that this yoga mat is not Michael's. Does that mean that we're not supposed to perform yoga at Michael's house, or not at all? It's a pretty interesting way to look at things so far, guys. Michael has a question. He's questioned by this. He's saying, "What are you trying to say here, bitch?" Then she says, "Well, there's a fireman's hat and a plumber's wrench. Basically, Michael's wife is having some fun. Give it a rest, okay? He's done. A lifeguard's float, a trucker's 60-ounce flask, a trash collector's pair of gloves. What are you saying? A gardener's trowel, a hipster's mustache." A hipster's mustache, does that mean Trevor's been in the room? "What the hell are you implying here?" says Michael. "I'm not implying anything. The spirits, on the other hand, imply a lot." "The spirits are telling me you're an asshole, alright? Now fuck off. You came to us, Michael. We're not going to tell you what you want to hear." "I thought you'd tell me something I didn't already know, you ass. Goodbye." So Michael already knows his wife's a whore, but didn't want it rubbed in his face. But this is telling us one thing so far. That so far, this psychic is pretty fucking accurate, dude. Pretty accurate. Pretty much on the spot here. Everything is accurate. "We had an open relationship, by the way." Now he's trying to cover up his embarrassment. "She's her own woman. I'm happy for her. And I cheated too, unless you can't tell." Like a lot. So we're even. Scumbag. And then that's the end of it. So if you go back, though, I believe you might get different stuff. So you're back. Yep, so you leave, you come back, and she knows it. So you're back, she says. I guess so. Have you been having fun?
Hey, dude.
Don't you know? Ha ha ha, very funny. Of course I know. You're in a world of pain and suffering you cannot quite articulate. Wait. Hiding away, worrying about death, completely self-absorbed. Hold on. Surrounded by people but lonely, a disappointment to everyone. Not everyone. Sexually very confused, worrying about aging too fast. No. Struggling with drink and nicotine, an expanding waistline. Do you guys see this? Everything that she's saying is pretty fucking spot on. Like, we do know that Michael smokes his cigars. We know that he drinks his Mount Chiliad whiskey, whatever it's called. We do know that all this stuff, his midlife crisis, we know all this stuff is true. Not at all, he says. He's trying to lie to her. Your best years are behind you. Now it's only a question of how long. It's not like that. It's not like that. Fuck you, I'm happy. I'm really fucking happy. And we know that that's all lies. You know, Michael's not happy. He's a miserable motherfucker. So everything so far is pretty accurate, guys. Let's see if she'll respond to us again. Let's go back in. Oh, not you again. Please, we don't have time for you. All you do is whine. And there's nothing we can do. Let's try one more time. Nope, and then that's the end of it. So let's go ahead and jump to another character and check out what they had to say. And then really quick, before we leave the episode today, we're going to go ahead and look at the star that we touched on in our last episode for the Shoot for the Stars, Beatrix Fontaine, which is a psychic from the previous game on the radio. So, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go ahead and switch over to Franklin. How's everybody doing in the chat today? We got Loopy Fruit. What's going on, Loopy Fruit? Mr. Loki, thanks for jumping in. Active Sniper, Zach Marble, Oxy 187. In. Let's go ahead and check out the psychic's reading for Franklin. We can hit the randomize button, or we could just type in psychic. Typing in psychic would just have it appear, but if you hit random a couple times, it comes up pretty quickly. Watch this be the one time it never pops up. Oh, come on. This is that website I was talking about, though. Your newbabiesname.com. And also, this one's interesting as well. Your Dead Family. Because you can, it's like Ancestry.com. You can actually like type in a name and maybe, you know, unlock something. And I was thinking of typing in some of the names from Red Dead Redemption, like Marston and stuff like that, because I think that there is definitely a connection between the previous games as well. And this is the Accept the Chaos website I was talking to you guys about as well. So those are the two that I brought up earlier. The Baby's Name one. All those I brought up, guys, that I was talking about. So there you go. And where the fuck is it? It doesn't pop up here in a second. We'll just go ahead and type it in. Ah, there it is. Here we go. So, Franklin's readings are, hello, I am Miss Mercy. Would you like me to read your horoscope? Or maybe numerology? I see the number 64. That's the square root of 8. Does 8 mean anything to you? Well, guys, I know it means something to me, and most likely something to you. That's pretty crazy, is it not? 8, out of all numbers, 8, guys, 8. Think about it. 8. That's infinity stood up.
See me at the club tomorrow.
Franklin says, listen, type fast, lady. I don't want to be ripped off. I need a psychic reading. Something is brewing, yes. A love. Long lost love. Franklin says, love? She says, yes, with a family member. What, you sick woman? No, not with you, with a friend, a close friend of yours. They're in bed. Oh, it's beautiful. What's this friend's name? He asks. I see, T? Cause there's this girl called Tanisha I grew up with. She's with some other dude now, but I always thought maybe one day we'd No, I don't think that's what is coming. I don't think that's what's coming through. You for real? If it's an old friend I'm going to hook up with, it's fucking Tanisha. I'm reading a more masculine energy. Don't be ridiculous. P or L or J? We do know we have a Lamar. That's an L. Actually, we have a couple of these things here. No, not L, not L. Please, not L. Exactly, L. With someone you know in your house. Dude, don't tell me she is definitely reading that Lamar's fucking Franklin's aunt. Because we know that Lamar has talked about Franklin's aunt before. That would make complete sense, as it was his house at one time. His aunt's house. Now, also, one quick thing, guys. Look at the top of the screen. You see the eye with the bomb and that, frequency thing? That might not even be a bomb. That might be, more of a frequency. And that Beatrix that I was talking about is a psychic from the radio, okay, in the previous game. But also, those lightning bolts look just like the lightning bolts on the mural, do they not? Just wanted to go ahead and point that out as it popped up for me here in my brain. Not Lamar, Franklin says. Exactly, that's it. In your house where you grew up, in your bed all the time. So Lamar is fucking Franklin's aunt in his bed in his old house that he grew up in over by Grove Street. Girl, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. So I'm way off mark. And you can't say anything. Now, I think that she is directly on the mark, just like she was with Michael. The game hints to it enough times. I think that that's accurate, guys. I think that Lamar is fucking Franklin's aunt, to be honest with you guys. Let's go ahead and see what we can get on our second time through. Oh, you're back, she says. I guess so. What seems to be the problem? You tell me. You gave up a lot to achieve a lot, and was it worth it? Well, kind of. You let people down. You got real selfish. You alienated yourself. You sacrificed principles you held dear. Look at the wordings that they decide to use. Alienated. Sacrificed. Not exactly, Franklin says. You pursued success at whatever the cost. You got obsessed by winning. You let everyone you know down. No, Franklin says in denial. She says you became a selfish ass, and now you're successful and lonely, and you're asking, was it worth it? Leave me alone, Franklin says, and there's nothing else to say. Let's try to go back in for the last time here. Leave us alone, please. We don't want to get too close. We know what you do to people you get close to. Damn. We have one final character to get their fortunes read, and that is none other than Trevor. Although I don't know if your online character can get a reading. That is pretty interesting. That might be something to try out, guys. As we're waiting for Trevor to load in, let's go ahead and say hi to everybody that jumped in the broadcast. We have Akram RT. Nikki Hatapelto, Mr. Loki, Rising Sun, Oxy, Mr. Loki, Loopy Fruits, Active Sniper, Zach Marble, all you guys that are jumping in, thank you guys so much for jumping in. We got Trevor here. What would Trevor's fortune be? There we go. Psychic shout out. Trevor says, so, if you're psychic, tell me, what am I holding in my hand? Is he the first time? I think that's the first time we actually had the character say something first. Each time, the psychic said something first. She said, hi, Michael, welcome to whatever, or whatever she said. She said it for each one, I believe. If I am correct here, I think that's how it went. But now, as Trevor, he's the one that spoke first. That's very interesting. Trevor says, so, if you're psychic, tell me what I'm holding in my hand. She says, it's something special to you. Okay. So he's basically like, okay, yeah, you guessed it. Now she says it's small, compact, well-worn, maybe frayed with overuse. That's one way of putting it. Think long and hard. She says, oh, this old gag. It's your is it your penis, isn't it? It's your penis, isn't it? I don't know if that's proper English or not, but whatever. Hey, shit, whoa, you're good. If you want sexy chat, you should try our sister site. This kind of juvenile nonsense is a waste of my time. I'm 1,000 years old. What else is related to the word thousand, if not Chiliad? That's very interesting that she's 1,000 years old, guys. Alright, Miss Mindmelt. What I got now, This is how you speak with strangers? Chatting with one hand? I bet your mother is so proud. See, how does she know that there's something very, very relevant with Trevor and his mother? This psychic is on point, guys. With every character so far, there is clues to be had. The psychic knows her shit. This is not a fraudulent site, like you may think. Trevor says, what do you know about my mother? Is she coming through to you? No, I mean, it's a figure of... Now, wait a minute. Trevor says, what do you know about my mother? Is she coming through to you? Is that hinting at Trevor's mother being possibly dead? Think about it, guys. We don't know much about Trevor and his mother. We know that he went to go get the Dilaudid for her, or whatever the opiates were, the pain medication. He comes back to the house, and the mother's gone. Now, we know that Trevor was pretty upset with his mother during that last mission, that one mission that we had with her, as he, wants her approval, and he doesn't get it, and to get it, he goes and gets her that medicine, comes back, and she's gone. We don't know what happened. We don't know if Trevor knows what happened. We really don't know much. It's kind of funny that he asks that question. Does he know something that we don't? Was there a clue that we missed along the line somewhere letting us know what happened to Trevor's mom? Something to think about. He says, what do you know about my mother? Is she coming through to you? Again, he says it. She says, no, it's a figure of... And then he says, tell me what you know about my mother. Has she passed over? Why would he think that? Why would he think that she's passed over? She said, I'm not seeing anything. Your mother, ... I... What is she trying to say, guys? He says, you'll be communicating with the dead when I'm done with you. You'll be in close communication. You hear me? You hear me? 2QMNSDIFJH what? You... Whatever the fuck he says. A whole bunch of typos. And then he says, where are you? Leave my mother alone. Miss Marcy has ended the chat. Is that not a crazy conversation? We know that the conversations between the other two were all basically just, whatever. This one's very abstract and odd. Something to really think about. Let's see what happens when we go away and then come back again. You go away right now or we will call the police. We don't even get a second reading from Miss Marcy. We don't get one at all, guys. That is so fucking suspicious. We warned you. Still nothing. We warned you. That's it. That's all we get. Is that not crazy? That is pretty nuts, guys. So, whatever's going on with Trevor and his good old mom, I don't know. But the fact that that psychic said that shit is just beyond me. Crazy, 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 crazy. So I want to go ahead and talk about the psychic that we featured in our last Shoot for the Stars video before we end out today's video, guys. And her name was Beatrix Fontaine. And Beatrix Fontaine, it says that that she was a host of the show The Seance, which was on Public Liberty Radio, okay? And it says that Beatrix Fontaine was a fraudulent psychic who offers nonsensical advice to her callers via the quote-unquote spirit line in an attempt to steal their credit card details. Okay, there was a first guest that calls in. Her name was Martina, who was worried about her boyfriend. Beatrix tells her that once led a powerful army and is worshipped by a god. So Beatrix is supposedly, you know, she led a powerful army and she is worshipped as a god by people. She tells her that she's going to marry a really rich man, but Beatrix asks her for her credit card details, saying that her credit card has bounced. She tells Beatrix everything on air, which Beatrix will keep very secure. So it's all like a joke. And then she then tells Martina that she will marry a man who owns a lot of diamonds. We know the word diamonds are pretty significant. A lot of stuff with diamonds. We've talked about that before. We'll get to that in the future as well. And then she says that she should join an online dating service and sleep with many men until she finds her prince. Before ending the reading, she tells Martina that her boyfriend had a brother he never knew about, and because of this, his life will be married by failure. The second caller's name is Michael. Very coincidental. Michael, who is having trouble at work because he listens to Beatrix's show. And after incorrectly guessing his name as Bob, she speaks to Michael's uncle, whose name is also Michael. And she tells him that he was named after Saint Michael, and that he is a product of incest between his mother and her brother. After this, Beatrix tells the caller that Michael and his uncle are the chosen ones and must complete a quest in order to find out what it is. Michael must call Beatrix's premium rate every day, and that the future of the world depends on it. Is that not crazy? That in this previous game of GTA, we have an online or a radio station called The Seance that this Beatrix lady, psychic lady, is the host of, and she tells this caller Michael that he is on a quest that the world depends on him completing, and it is you know, that he's the chosen one, and then he got this quest because he's the chosen one, and it must be completed. But you know, to find out what it is and all the information, he must join the premium rate and pay for it on this special, you know, part of the phone line. So obviously there is a joke of being ripped off, but there's also the talk of a quest and a certain you know, way of life that Michael must follow. This is pretty crazy. Is that a coincidence that Michael is now in the Epsilon group and has a quest of the ninth paradigm? Very interesting stuff, guys. And the third caller's name was Candy. Now, I know that a lot of people are questioning Candy. and Candy sucks, and Tracy, Michael's daughter. So there's also a connection here, if you will. And Beatrix starts off the conversation by incorrectly guessing that she is a Virgo. Okay. And after Candy says that she is a Gemini, Beatrix says that she had a Virgo rising. But Candy tells her that she had a Libra rising. Okay, Beatrix then proceeds to tell Candy that she's the position of her zodiac and explains why Candy experiences deep melancholy and a heart-piercing grief, and that's why she sleeps with strangers. When Candy tells her that she had a troubled childhood, Beatrix tells her that her parents did not understand her because they were aliens. And that Candy is an alien hunter who had her memory wiped, and that she has a reoccurring dream of giving birth to an alien. Beatrix then tells her that everything will be okay if she buys 20 copies of her book. When Candy starts to be skeptical, the line hangs up abruptly, with Beatrix blaming it on bad connections. This implies that Candy's credit card was charged for the books before she could resist, adding to Beatrix's fraudulent behavior. But even though she might have ripped her off, guys, think about the context. We have her talking about aliens and alien hunters. Okay, there's a lot of stuff tied into the Epsilonists right there. I'm going to be getting into that in the next episode, actually. And also, thinking of the zodiacs and all the signs and stuff like that, there's a reason why they bring this stuff up, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and get into all this, as this is all clues leading into the next episode and what we're going to reveal in that session. The fourth guest is unnamed male, okay? We're almost done here, guys. We're almost done here. I know this is a longer episode, but we had a lot to get over and cover on this topic here. He's an unnamed male, and he starts out the conversation by furiously attacking Beatrix's credibility, saying that he shouldn't have to pay for the service if she is truly a gift, and has a gift. And after his outburst, Beatrix tells him that he owned a tavern in Krakow, Poland 500 years ago, which entices the caller. Okay, Beatrix then goes into a vision telling the caller that he and an unnamed fat man are having an argument, when a woman leaves the tavern shouting. Just as the two men are about to fight, she says that the caller begins to kiss the man he is fighting with, along with various other sexual acts, much to the caller's disgust. Beatrix then tells the caller to break up with his girlfriend and tell her what she has told him. So that's crazy. What the hell's that all about? Now there's one last caller. The final caller's name is most likely Darlene, but Beatrix calls her Darling, which sounds like Darlene. And when she answers the line, the caller exclaims, "Wow, you know my name," just like Michael did with the psychic in today's episode. As Beatrix begins her reading, she tells Darlene that she sees two eyes resembling a teddy bear that Darlene owned when she was younger. When Darlene agrees, Beatrix claims that she must have carried this bear around to show people where the bad women touched her. When Darlene doubts this, Beatrix tells her that she's living a terrible lie, and we know who talks about lies a lot, if not the Epsilon, because deep down Darlene is a man and her spirit is upset about being circumcised. Darlene thinks this is absurd, saying that she is not a man because she has breasts. Beatrix tells her that she must be a man because she is self-conscious about the size of her breasts. She ends the call by telling Darlene to go to a biker bar and take some ecstasy so that all this will come into focus. Before Beatrix cuts her off, it is hinted that Darlene is pregnant and wants to ask Beatrix to give readings pertaining to her baby. And the phone number for the spirit line is, let's go ahead and call it. Let's see if it works here in GTA5. It is 2 1 2 3 6 0 2 3 6 7. See what happens. Nothing. It's busy. So that is the information on the psychic from GTA 4, which was tied to a radio station as she was a host of a show called The Seance. Okay? And we know that the radio station has those lightning bolt type symbols above the antenna, and those images are on the stars on Vinewood when it talks about a radio station person, and as well as other places, like if we get into a car and look at the radio, the images here. Oops, what are we doing? Like, right here, you see this? You see how it has the 4 lightning bolts? Those are just like the ones in the mural. This is for Solax FM. And we know that those same lightning bolts are on the images for the radio, people tied to radio, on the Vinewood Stars, as well as even on that Psychic Shoutout website. So a lot of clues tied to a lot of symbolism, tied back to the clues, tied back into the mystery, the Chiliad Mystery. Even the word 1000 was brought up and repeatedly shown throughout the clues that we have looked at. So a lot of stuff to look at, guys, think about and discuss. I want to thank you guys all for jumping in today. It was my honor and pleasure to bring you guys this episode. I got some new stuff coming your way. A lot of good stuff coming very soon. They're not going to all be in broadcast format like this. A lot of them are just going to be polished up, produced videos. But today was a broadcast, as I wanted to get to a lot of the stuff on the fly like we did today. And I wanted to give some shout outs as well for the people that are jumping in, supporting as we go. Don't forget to check out the Shoot for the Stars episodes, guys, as we learn a lot of information from these episodes. As you can see, the one person's name just provided us with a lot of clues, which led into another complete different direction of clues here in the game's internet. And then taking the internet as is for what it is, we know there's a lot of clues inside the game's internet to look at as well. So we got a lot of stuff to look at now, and it all sparked from looking into a little bit more of Rockstar's lore and the names that they put within the stars here in the game as we shoot for the stars and as we shoot to solve the mystery. Once again, guys, this is Danny ColdBlood, aka MusicVidiot, here, signing off. Thank you all for jumping in. Final shout out to everybody that jumped in: Timo, Ojak Karpi, Rocky91, Tim Knight, Jay Freeman, Nayam Jackson, Sam Westwood, the Nuclear Nixons, ADFA, Akram RT, Loki, Rising Sun, Oxy187, Newbie Fruit, Active Sniper, Zach Marble, all you motherfuckers, thank you so much for jumping in. It's been an honor. It's been a fucking pleasure. And I'll see you guys in the next video or broadcast. Until we meet again, ta-ta. And, as always, peace!
You entitled piece of shit!
Same old disgusting assholes and butch chicks staring at my ass all day.